One of the biggest reasons why I actually chose coming to Caz rather than a different school was because I knew about their study abroad program. And I mean, I know a lot of other colleges, they have study abroad programs, but Caz specifically had like a set one where everyone who does the program goes to Canterbury. And I really liked how Caz did it, so you went with a group of people, because most other schools you would be going by yourself, and the idea of doing that was just kind of intimidating to me. So I figured that Caz's program of studying abroad was better suited for myself, because I knew I would feel more comfortable in an environment with other students that I knew. And actually, when I ended up applying, I didn't know anyone else that was applying. So again, the intimidation kind of sunk in, but I really wanted to study abroad. I wanted that experience. So through the meetings that President Tierno set up, I ended up meeting a couple people and making some friends, and we all decided that we were definitely going to study abroad together. If you decide that you're studying abroad but you don't really know anyone that's going over in the group, I actually found that it was more than okay, because you're going to be sitting next to people that you know on the plane. You're going to start talking to them and make friends. And then when you're in England, you know, for the first week that you're there, you're not going to know anyone else. You're only going to know everyone you're there with from Caz, so you're just going to be talking to them and hanging out with them. So that's what I found I did, and it was just, you know, Professor Sloan came over with us, who was great, and it was just really, really good and comforting to have a group of people and a professor that I felt comfortable with going over with us. I really like studying abroad in England because, you know, you are there to study and to learn, so taking classes with professors who actually spoke the same language as you was definitely helpful. But at the same time, the good part about going to England is it's in Europe, and it's so easy to travel anywhere in Europe. They had the Eurotrail, which was actually really expensive, but then they had different airways like Ryanair, which ended up being pretty cheap. So we had a week of break. It was called Reading Week, and myself and a few other friends decided to travel to Italy for that whole week, and transportation there was so easy. They had trains, and they had a subway system, which was called the Metro, so getting around there was so easy. We ended up going to Rome, Pisa, and Florence, and we did that all in just 5 days, and then we flew back to England. And I also ended up going to Paris, which that was easy to get to as well, because we went on a ferry. We took a ferry from England, and then we got on a bus after that. It ended up being about a 9-hour trip, which is pretty long, but it was cheap, and it was so worth it to see that. So being in England, you know, you still get to feel comfortable because you don't have to learn another language. You get to take classes where you understand what the professor is saying, but then you can also study abroad and have the experience of getting used to, you know, a different culture that speaks a different language. But being in England is also obviously a different culture, because they use different, you know, different words mean different things than they mean here. So you have to kind of get used to that as well.